Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. Hector, playing as the the Ostir or the Wehrmacht faction in the blue. And his opponent is going to be Mr. HOI Yukiko, playing as the U.S. forces in the red. So see what happens when I don't promise that I am going to make a game. I actually make a game. Although, I probably shouldn't be saying this during the video because maybe something's going to happen. The video's not going to upload and we're not going to get out on time. It's been so annoying. I've also been trying to get a new service now that the goddamn contract is up after a year of being here in the new house, but there's still no services that are halfway decent down here. That kind of sucks, but oh well. I'll keep trying to see if I'll figure out anything else. But for now, we will continue with our regularly scheduled programming, I suppose, if we want to call it that. So we do see that Hector has gone for MG, and then following it up with another MG. So a 3 MG opening for Hector. Very unusual and unorthodox. You know, kind of following in the line of the Maxim spam that we used to see back in the day. However, well, Maxims do have 6 men in total, so it's a little bit easier to get away with that. With the MGs, you only have 4 men in them, so it's a lot easier to take down the crew. So a little bit more fragile, but we see if that works out for Hector. In the meantime, though, we do see Yukiko going for rifle. Nothing really out of the ordinary, pretty standard. Rifles running into the center, spotting that there is, in fact, an MG up in the church, taking a couple shots at them, but they managed to move out of the way before any suppression effects go, well, into effect. Pio's now moving down south to capture territory. Down in the far south, we do have the MG-42 setting up to cap, setting up at a nice angle as it covers the entire approach, making sure it doesn't get flanked. And we do have the 3rd MG setting up right behind, seems to be trying to cover. We saw something there. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it's something to do with the facing. So it was forced to face in this direction where the other MG got turned around over here. Does manage to catch a rifle squad out in the open as it crosses the gap there, getting itself pinned down and unable to move. MG-42 still apparently able to see it, so they're going to have to retreat, and they do. And there you go. Down south, Pio's capping as the MG down south capping the victory point. And we see wire getting laid down for Hector down in the south, making it a little bit more difficult to access this point. You can, of course, always just bolt over the fence, but, well, the MG is looking in that direction, so it would still be a little bit more difficult. Still, though, you can see the effect of having only MGs, in the sense that you cannot really move. MG-42 did get popped out of this house to perhaps push away the troops up in the north, but it is unable to move out and really fight, because if it gets caught with its pants down and the MG not set up, pretty much a dead MG. Yukiko, though, not being very aggressive, leaving his troops sitting idly by, just, you know, defending the territory that he has capped. Seems, of course, though, that he's probably going to be teching, and he did, in fact, tech, going for the captain, and I can only assume he's going to be rushing towards the steward, so that he can break through those MGs. It's a fine option. Could have also done it with the utility car. I mean, utility car works just as well, and I believe you can get out a little bit faster. But yeah. So double MGs down south being utilized to fight against these rifles. Rifles do manage to cap the victory point, but, well, they end up retreating. Down to 3 men, they make it out of there alive just fine, but yeah, the MG from here in the center got moved back. And yeah, so the rifles just move around. I mean, to be fair, I mean, there's not a lot for the rifles to do because Hector went for just MGs. So, yeah, I mean, they can't really push on the points without, you know, suffering a lot of losses. So they're content to take the points that they have and just keep them, because obviously with the MGs it's kind of difficult to push. We do see, of course, Tier 2 having gone down, so skipping that, obviously, if you're going to invest so much in those MGs, probably you don't want initial tech. Then going for Panzer Grenadiers to have some combat troops and following it up with a half-track. Very interesting build order there. We'll see how it pans out. It's kind of weird though that I have the player on the left spawn over on the right side Saigon. So I suppose I could turn the battlefield like this and just look at it in this way. This is so weird. We're gonna look at the battle like this. Yeah, there we go. Deal with it, guys. We're looking at it backwards. So the captain did come out. He's not going for the steward, at least not yet. I'm assuming, obviously, fuel is also a little bit prohibitive at the time. But we do see a pack howitzer now on the field for Yukiko. Going to be utilizing those to dislodge the troops in the center. And the Panzer Grenadiers now in the center, going to be pushing up, well, I suppose now it's down, because, I mean, if you notice the map, it doesn't actually show any orientation as far as north and, ooh, nice hit there, killing 2 of the Panzer Grenadiers. Rifles do lose their heavy cover, although they showed to be in heavy cover. That's because they have some heavy cover by the wood, not wood, the trees down there, but, yeah. Anyways, up in the north this time, since we're looking like this. Rear echelon squad caught by the MG42, forced to retreat. Rifles moving up, vaulting over the fence. Actually, no, it's already open here, so either they didn't vault or, I mean, considering the angle, I think they vaulted. But let's see. Half track getting popped with the flamethrower, so it will lose its reinforcement capability, but it will still obviously be relatively strong. Well, rather strong, not relatively. And yeah, the rifles get pushed away. They do not manage to cap the point, and the flamethrowers go off on their face. Lose some of their members, but they manage to stay alive. Captain on the field, hold up inside the house at the front of the base for Yukiko. And the pack howitzer set up behind it, going to be taking some shots. The MG42 inside the church has been forced to evacuate. The church has taken severe amounts of damage. It actually looks fine structurally, but it took enough damage that it has now collapsed. Go ahead and adjust the angle on the camera. And the Pios vaulting over the fence, managing to get themselves inside the half-track, making sure that nobody gets inside this house that does not belong to Hector, because otherwise they would get instantly cooked. Captain does have those bazookas, managing to get some damage on the half-track. However, with the MG42s there for defense, the captain unable to do too much. Rifle squad on the other side of the Pios. Pios taking some damage there to the pack howitzer. They pop out of the house through the front and walk their way back. They are going to have to retreat. And they've barely managed to make it out of there. Down over here by the munitions point. Rifles engaging against an MG apparently. Managing to dislodge it. Panzer Grenadiers moving around. Going to be a bit of a nuisance there. And we do have some rifles nearby. They could help out. However, oh, nice shot there. We do have, of course, the steward, as we anticipated it was the play. Managing to move by and get an easy kill there on a half-track down, and the steward getting some shots on the retreating Panzer Grenadiers. Rifle's going to get some additional shots, but it has a lot of health. I think it's going to make it out of there. Takes some damage on the retreat, but yeah, it seems to be fine. The steward could have pursued and potentially picked up a kill, but unfortunately Yukiko seemed to have been otherwise distracted in the center. Panzer Grenadiers moving around, capping, MG42 behind it, supporting. Rear echelon squad with a sweeper, not going to be able to do too much. Steward moving down south. Panzer Grenadiers are not getting upgraded with Shreks just yet, so they can't really do much against that steward. Behind them, we do have a rifle squad coming up on the flank on that MG42. Pack gun is on the field for Hector. However, the steward is, you know, not in the arc of fire right now. Rifle squad does retreat down to 2 men, manages to force the retreat of the MG. However, it, you know, stays alive quite fine, and they actually take quite a bit of punishment. Back at the base, we do have the ambulance finally coming online for Yukiko. Pops it with the medical abilities, and everybody's going to get some good healing. And, you know, that's the way it goes. Pack howitzer on the field, still taking some shots. Shots flying into the center, trying to dislodge some stuff. MG42 seems to have been targeted there, taking a loss and forced to retreat. Panzer Grenadier squad down to 1 man, not getting targeted there by the rifle squad. Could have potentially picked up a kill there for Yukiko, but he seemed to have been on the move when that happened. Pack gun down south, getting caught by the rifles as they come along behind the lines. Managing to force it to move out of the way. We do still have that steward in the previous north, but not current north. I'm going to do a quick check here. No, not even here. Okay. Just wanted to see if the tactical map would show actually orientation, whether it be north, south, and west, but no. Not really. Just used to saying north, you know, because, well, you would look at it as a compass, I suppose. So the Steward forcing retreat of some Pios. Pios not really being able to do too much. Back at base, we do not have any additional tech. We do have the med bunker on the field for Hector, so all his troops will be moving out at full strength, but that's about it. And his strategy, I'm not sure if it's panning out. MG42 managing to recover the strategic point as it got disconnected. The fuel down, well, this is just confusing for me because I want to call it down south because that's how it was previously, but it's getting capped there by the rifles. Rifles popping in smoke. Breaking line of sight with the MG42. Two other MG42s now focusing their fire on the rifles. Grenade does go off on that MG42. Getting it down to 2 men. However, with the second MG42 behind it, able to provide support. That rifle squad is pinned down and is going to be forced to retreat, running a little bit of a gauntlet. Pack howitzer is taking some shots, missing the MG42, but could potentially get a hit in there. Steward in the center, forcing retreats of some Panzer Grenadiers. We do have the pack gun moving up to potentially support. And behind it, where's the captain? Captain is down over here, or up over here. Damn, confusing. We're just going to call it the south right now, I suppose, or down there. Up over here on the munitions point, rifles capping, MG42 moving around, but not being allowed to position itself. Panzer Grenadiers up in the fuel point, managing to force the retreat of the rifles. The rifles down to 2 men. Do make it out of there with sufficient health to not be a close call, but could have easily gone either way. And we do have an AT gun on the field for Yukiko, the 57mm AT gun. Captain, capping a strategic point, running into some Pios. The Pios taking some damage, but not being able to do too much. Steward moving up to harass the Pios. Can't crush because it is a light tank, even though, of course, you would be crushed by that. But it is able to take point-blank shots there at the Pios. These 2 Pios are clumped up. They take some additional damage. Pios trying to move out of the way. Steward taking some shots. Retreating down to 2 men. Seems to be able to make it out of there. Panzer Grenadiers throwing a nice bundle grenade. Manages to not hit anything, as the captain reacted quickly enough. Pack gun setting up to shoot at the Steward. Gets a good shot on it and is in range for another shot. There goes another shot. Main gun destroyed. The pack gun could potentially finish it off here. It is moving forward potentially to do that, but looks like the Steward is going to be able to make out of there without any additional shots flying at its ass. Panzer Grenadiers pushing forward to recover some territory. Captain getting right on top of that pack gun. The pack gun, of course, not going to take any damage because remember, weapon teams and such, their weapons themselves no longer take any damage while you have them, because that's stupid. MG42 covering the approach over here, making sure that the strategic point doesn't get taken. However, the fuel point up here is being taken as well, so even though it is keeping the point and allowing it to be connected, although now that it got smoked, it's going to lose it. Not really, though. Ooh, nice little push there, but the Panzer Grenadiers getting themselves into the correct position, wrecking the rifle squad. The fuel point up over here trying to get capped there, but the Panzer Grenadiers are going to move up and stop them from doing so. Bundle grenade does fly. They manage to dodge it. Shot flies again. Nice grenade. Ooh, unfortunately not a nice grenade. That didn't do enough damage. So Panzer Grenadiers forcing the retreat of the rifle squad. MG42 moving up as well, although it's not currently set up. It is setting up and might be able to get a burst. No, not in time. Until the rifle makes it out of there. Center point. Rifles capping point. So we actually currently have a triple cap in the favor of Yukiko. Victory points are 406 to 415, so anybody's game right now. But it looks like Hector is going to be bleeding quite quickly right now, as that triple cap is still in effect and nobody's currently decapping. We do see the point in the north, or up there, currently getting decapped, so it's finally going to, you know, start to maybe stabilize, but a decent chunk of time where it was a triple cap against Hector, so it's going to take its toll. Rear echelon squad trying to stop the Pios, both squads equipped with sweepers, so one of their members is just sitting there twirling a baton, really. Steward being moved up to the north, going to be pushing away that MG42. MG42 unable to do anything against it because it is, of course, an MG42. We have another MG42 covering the munitions up there, which will also get pushed away. And we see a rifle squad sneaking behind the line, going to be decapping the point in the north, or the strategic point there, the cutoff point, and removing the fuel and munitions income. Pio's going for the fuel. They're going to be laying down some mines, some S minefields, trying to pick up some easy kills there as they cap the point, so hoping that potentially they can get a kill on a squad. Panzer Grenadiers moving down to the victory point over here, and they will be stopping that. So with the decap of that, the bleed will reduce significantly, even though he did disconnect or remove this point over here. That was still a neutral point, which means that he was bleeding 2 points per tick, which is actually still pretty quick. So we see the points being bled all the way down to 350, which is pretty significant, you know, considering the amount of time where the bleed happened, the bleed, whatever. Anyways, point finally does get capped down here by the Panzer Grenadiers, which means that the bleed has stopped for both players, as there is, of course, one neutral point. MG42 catching that rifle squad out into the open, tearing into it, down to one man. The Steward could potentially pick up the kill on MG42. MG42 currently retreating. The Steward's going to take a shot. No, it misses, as it does not have range. Up in the north, rifle squad capping the fuel point. MG42 is moving around with their Panzer Grenadiers, unable to stop them from capping it, but they do push them away. And the point up there is still neutral. Major now on the field for Yukiko. Going to be bringing it up with a Sherman. And back at base, we do see Tier 4 finally going down for Hector. So Tier 2 to Tier 4. Skipping tech all over the place, but it'll be fine. With that, he does have access, of course, to those heavier tanks, which should be good. I mean, the thing is, really depends on what you want to do, because, I mean, Panther's great, and it'll kill anything that the U.S. can field, really, but it's kind of weak when it comes to anti-infantry. Panzer Grenadiers in the center, trying to take the point, forced to retreat, as we do have the Major and the Steward moving around.
Tank support is here.
Sherman now on the field here for Mr. Yukiko. Sherman should be able to do quite well. We do still, of course, have that pack gun, which hasn't really done much. It got a couple shots into that Steward, and then after that, that was about it. Rifles being able to lay down some mines, as Yukiko, of course, selected the Heavy Cavalry Company. Heavy Cavalry Company gives you the Rifleman Defense, as you can see there at the top, which is same from the Infantry Company, I believe. But yeah, of course, the prime thing that everybody wants and is interested in is both the Pershing and the Rangers. So far, though, no Rangers coming out. I wonder if that's just Yukiko's way of maybe feinting. The thing is, I didn't see which doctrines he started off with, which is unfortunate for me. Ooh, Pio squad going down there to the sustained fire of the double rifle squads. Steward getting some good shots in there on the Panzer Grenadiers, forcing the retreat, and the fight for Hector is quickly lost down over here. But yeah, I mean, he could potentially just be feigning, whereas he can lay down mines, and you don't exactly know whether it's the infantry company or the heavy cab. Because yeah, I mean, people like that doctrine because of the Pershing and the addition of the Rangers, which he doesn't have right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Rifle grenade flying, or anti-tank rifle grenade flying at the Panzer IV. Panzer IV taking some heavy damage here as it hits a mine, although I'm not sure if that mine was his or Yukiko's. I think it might have been Yukiko, considering how it detonated, because the bazooka hit before that, so it wasn't splash damage. Hector saying, "Where's the MG?" Yukiko saying, "Dead." Well, there is a dead MG, but not sure which one it's talking about. I'll write it down so we can see it, because I was looking at that. So, MG at the 19-minute mark? We'll figure it out. So you probably already saw which MG he's talking about. Panzer Grenadiers making a big push to the south. Captain's going to get torn into pieces. Grenade goes off on top of it. Down to 2 man, forced to retreat. Barely makes it out of there. The other Panzer Grenadier squad seems to have taken some splash damage to its friendly grenade, whether it was its own or somebody else's. Steward, though, does move itself up, which allows him to push off the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh, nasty mine hit there by those Panzer Grenadiers. Down to 1 man on another squad. The Steward moving up. Sherman is equipped with the explosive shots, which the Panzer Grenadiers are also allergic to. And everybody's forced to retreat, and nothing is won. Ah, no! I resetted the camera. Let me see. Like that. There we go. And this fixes the angle, so it's the same angle as before. Pack gun being moved down to the southern region, because this is now the new southern region. And the Steward and the Sherman immediately back up as they realize, whoa. Calm down, man. We don't want no trouble. We don't want no troubles, really. Rifles getting upgraded with bars for Yukiko all over the place. 1 or 2. Let's take a look. Seems to be 1 so far. Grenade going off on the MG. The MG taking a lot of damage. Bar managing to clear it out. We now have a second MG down. We do have another MG42 behind it covering, but the rifles could potentially go for the steal. Does not look like they are interested in doing so. Panzer IV is, of course, as we saw on the field there for Hector, taking a little bit of damage. Forced to back off and repair. They are now on the field. But we do have an AT gun and a Sherman for Yukiko, so, you know, for a Panzer IV by itself, I mean, he has enough to deal with it. Rifle squad forced to retreat, unable to do too much. Pios are going to go for that MG42. MG42 picked up. Pios squad will have to retreat and reinforce if it wants to do anything helpful for that Panzer IV. Because you can repair with 1 guy, but, you know, the repair time is actually dependent on the entities that are repairing, and if you only have 1 out of 4, I believe you're doing it at 25% speed, so a quarter speed. Anyways, Panzer Grenadiers moving straight to the center, forcing the retreat of the captain. Steward moving up, taking some good shots, nailing one of those Panzer Grenadiers. Shots continue to fly. Second one gets nailed. Steward doing quite well. 12 kills so far. Only veterancy 1, so, you know, not amazingly, but it's been doing okay. Sherman moves up, takes a couple shots at the retreating squad, but does not manage to get any additional hits in there. Panzer Grenadiers going for the center victory point. Hector now down to 177 points, being bled very quickly by Yukiko. Yukiko sitting comfortably at 415. Major in the center, going to be taking some shots there by the Panzer IV. Even the Pack gun could take some additional shots. The Shack might potentially collapse. The Pack Howitzer is actually still in the game. 7 kills so far, veterancy 1 acquired. Panzer Grenadier squad forced to retreat. The Major pops out and is forced to retreat as well. And up in the north, we do have Pios and a Panzer Grenadier squad trying to recover some territory and keep the game alive. So Panzer IV taking some shots there by the Sherman and, of course, the AT gun, suffering some damage and getting brought down to less than half health. Forced to back off, going to be retreating back to base and get potentially repaired, although the Pios squad seems to be out there just capping, so there's no repair potential just yet. The Sherman, of course, is a American vehicle. He could easily pop his crew out and repair the tank. Not doing that just yet, but, you know, he could if he wasn't so inclined. Steward managing to get the upper hand there on that Pack gun. Moves up and gets a shot behind it. However, it is not greedy enough and is not willing to move around to circle strafe it, so it doesn't actually get the full benefit and doesn't get the kill. Panzer Grenadiers and Rifles down over here engaging. The Panzer Grenadiers do have Shreks, so the anti-infantry capabilities are significantly reduced. Obviously, we have seen Shreks wipe squads, so, you know, you should still be a little bit careful about there, but, you know, they definitely do hit less often than the bullets do, so it is a little bit less reliable to want those. Rear echelon squad, a new rear echelon squad, says apparently Yukiko keeps losing his. Not really that important considering the state of the game, so I don't even think I'm going to take a look and see when that happens, but yeah. Second Pack gun getting produced for Hector. Not entirely sure what he's waiting for. Oh, and I'm sorry, it wasn't Tier 3, it was Tier 4, it was Tier 3, that's why you see the Panzer IV. For some reason I mistook the icon, but no, the Tier 4 icon is the gear, like the circular gear, not that ladder kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that. Switch like that, yeah. There you go. You can see there, down over here, where my mouse is. That little gear icon, that's tier 4. So anyways, Panzer Grenadiers moving over here, getting grenaded by the rifles, forced to retreat. Sherman adding its own 2 cents in the way of explosive shots there, forcing everybody off. And that's about it. Rifles retreating. Sherman catching an MG42. The MG42 is being covered by a pack gun, so a pack gun does get a good shot there on the Sherman. The Sherman now backing off. Can it get a second shot in? It takes a second shot, but it impacts on the surface of the terrain. Unable to get a second hit in on the Sherman. MG42 up over here. Panzer Grenadiers moving around. Rifle squad down to 1 man. Very low in health. Barely makes it out of there. But Yukiko manages to keep his troops alive. And we see Yukiko finally going for that Persian tank, which... at this stage, and considering the compositions, that's pretty much game. I mean, the Sherman should be able to roll through pretty much anything here. Sure, the pack guns and the Shrek is a threat, but from what I recall, the main gun of the Persian is pretty good against infantry. So down south, the Panzer IV is being utilized to push. We do have the Steward now. While the Steward cannot really do much damage to the Panzer IV and penetrate it, it does have the capability to shell shock it, which it does right there. Manages though to move itself into a very, very bad angle where we have 2 pack guns and a Panzer IV getting essentially 1 shot in a single fell swoop. Sherman moves up to be a little bit aggressive, but realizing what happened to its Steward buddy, retreats very quickly. Panzer Grenadiers from the north forced to retreat. There are 2 Shreks being carried with all haste. MG42 covering the hedge there. Rifle's going to be capturing territory. As we do still have those victory points in the favor for Mr. Yukiko. Hector now down to 86 points. He's trying as best he can, but doesn't seem to be working out very well. Panzer Grenadiers moving up, going to be trying to fight this Sherman, although they don't have Shreks, so not sure what they were trying to do. Down to 2 men, take some additional shots with the explosive rounds, but they managed to make it out of there. And it seems like they're going to be just fine. MG42 moving up to the north to cover the strategic point as it gets cut off once again. We do have the Pershing moving up. Pershing takes a shot, misses completely, so the main gun is not as impressive as I would think. But like I said, I think it's actually decent. No, takes another shot and misses, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's just horrible. And I was just thinking wishfully.
They have only 75 points remaining.
75 points remaining for Hector. I don't know why I said remaining, but it's remaining. And we see a rifle squad moving down south. So yeah, the thing is with Hector is that he's not being able to hold a single point reliably. He's moving around back and forth, you know, capturing the points to try and stop the bleed, but he just made a big push, capped the one down south, and now it's completely desolate, and Yukiko is able to just move up on top of it and cap it without really any issue. Captain, getting itself behind a pack gun, manages to decrew it. Shots continue to fly. The second pack gun is moving there. Pyro squads are going to try and go for the weapon, but the captain decides to instead detonate it and remove the weapon from the battlefield. Pack gun taking some shots at the Pershing. The Pershing taking shots head on, but also returning the fire at the pack gun itself, bringing it down to 2 men, but it's still active. Captain is forced to retreat though, so unable to finish the job there as the Pyos surprisingly deadly there on top of them. And down south, the Panzer Grenadier squad is trying to go for the point as once again, ooh, it killed a rifle squad on the retreat. Unfortunate there for Yukiko, but at this stage again, I don't think it matters too much for him. Obviously, you don't want to be losing your veteran squads, you know, at this stage of the game. You want to keep that veterancy because it goes a long way. But, you know, considering his map control and such, probably not going to matter. Panzer IV going down in the center as the Pershing with the combination of the AT gun, I believe. Where's the AT gun? Yeah, it's back here. Managing to get killing blows on that Panzer IV with the Panzer IV destroyed. Hector realizes that, well, maybe that MG start wasn't the best thing ever, but yeah, all hope was lost, and that is game. So I hope you guys were able to tolerate that different angle on the battlefield, but yeah, it's fun to mix it up, I suppose. Anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.